Hello, fellow special supermoms. So, I wanted to start this podcast episode I almost did it, by saying sorry. While the whole episode is about that you shouldn't hello fellow special supermoms. So I wanted to start. You shouldn't have to say sorry. Podcast episode. I almost did it by saying sorry. I can't even come up with the words, but you don't have to say sorry. You shouldn't say sorry. That you sometimes kind of shouldn't from have to the face of the earth. Well, that's a bit drastic, but you shouldn't have to say sorry. The beginning of the year, I had some energy, and I was like, I can't even come up with the word. I'm going to court every week. You don't have to say sorry, and you shouldn't say sorry. When you really is the core of who I am, being a special needs mom, and how the face of the earth. Well, that's a bit drastic, but in daily life, the beginning of the year, parent, but also I had some energy, and I was having ADHD myself and everything. Court every week because it's so important, and this podcast tips for kids, but especially who I am, being a special needs mom, sane and how that relax and recharge as a special needs in daily life. And then I recorded a podcast episode, and then February came myself, and everything that comes with it. And then, but just checked. I think it was over tips 5 weeks before I uploaded the kids, but especially how to stay sane and relax and recharge. As a special needs parent. And then, I recorded a podcast episode, and then February came. I don't know, did another one, paralyzed, and then, just checked. I think it was the longer you wait before I upload the next one. The harder it gets to get back on that horse, and start again. Just it's maybe also motivate yourself. But then I thought, I was trying to find a motivation. Paralyzed in my calendar on Monday. Monday is for my podcast, the website, and writing my book, and everything. The harder it gets life happens, and life always get back on that horse, start again, and end up. Maybe also motivate yourself. Doing healthcare appointments. But then I thought, chasing a psychiatrist for, I was trying to find a motivation. I'm like, just daily in my calendar on Monday is for my podcast and my website, and writing my book, and everything's gone. Now I will, life happens, and life always all the household chores and stuff like that. So before you know it, it's May. Doing healthcare appointments and chasing a psychiatrist for, your kids, or bad towards myself, just because daily life. Wasn't this my goal? That I on a Monday think, to take more time for everybody's gone. Really matter, finish and all the household chores, stuff like that. So before you know it, it's May. And oh gosh, I felt energy in things that really so matter. Bad towards myself. But sometimes you have, because I was like, days, weeks. Wasn't this my goal? That I wanted to take more time for things that really matter. And and of course, it's really important that you take care of yourself. Can't find that fire in yourself anymore. You're just really tired. Put energy in things that only thing that's on your mind is stuff dealing. Sometimes you as a special needs mom. In my case, there were a lot of things going on with my kids, or longer, and that just drained me. And then of course I can say, come on, that fire in just yourself do something that makes you happy. You're just really tired, but. A short time happiness, stuff dealing, something else than, mom, in my case, the energy to work on something that's with my kids, like my podcast, or and especially my book, that's been in the making. And then for now, I can say, 2 years, come on, I've written like 30 chapters that makes you happy. My special needs mom book. But, a short time happiness, then I have 1 or 2 days that I write a lot, and then, I don't touch it. Having the energy to work on something that's months, like my podcast, or because I think, especially my book. To be honest, I think I've did most of the writing for now 2 years. Like I've written like 13 chapters for around that period, my special needs mom book. And in between that, I'm just between then I have 1 or 2 days that I write a lot, and then I don't touch it
just
for
took over, and there are so many daily
months.
things, on end, because I think my kids, I think I do a lot of volunteer writing for the Dutch Juvenile Arthritis Association. Last Christmas, around that period,
again,
and the year before, really taking care of.
And in between that,
kids and all the healthcare appointments and all the
summer
stuff,
holiday and Christmas holiday,
it takes a lot of hours.
Life
and then
just
I have
took
my
over.
copywriting and
there are
so many
business.
daily things,
and then my kids
makes the money.
So
a lot of volunteer
that's
work,
where
for the Dutch Juvenile Arthritis Association,
throw in your first energy.
Again,
kids,
really
if you've
been listening to this podcast for a long time, that
it takes a lot of hours.
I got,
and then I have
COVID
my copywriting
and
and translation
business,
which
turned out,
and then
which turned into
money. So that's
long
where
COVID.
And
you tend to,
at least
until
until
December,
December,
I had 2 or 3
and
hours of
energy
if you've been
in a day,
listening
and
to
that
included
this
podcast
podcast
for a longer
walking
time,
the dog,
that
doing grocery shopping.
I got COVID in June
So
or
I
July.
limited
my copywriting clients, which turned into long COVID. Really had to relearn how to
at
use
least
my
until
energy.
December I had
And I used to be
energy
this
in a day,
and that
little
included
tigger,
always energetic, walking the dog.
And it already changed
doing
with my car
grocery
accident
shopping
4 years ago.
So I limited
and then I
my
keep talking,
copywriting
this
clients.
podcast,
You have to
and
embrace yourself, and I try to teach my kids that
it's
really,
okay if you
really
can't
had
do
to
everything.
relearn how to
But
use
in the
my
meantime,
energy.
this
And
mom wants to do
everything. I used to be able to.
This little tigger,
Always
and
energetic.
then when
And it already changed with my car
accident 4 years ago.
beginning of the
and
year,
then I
know
keep
there's
talking,
still
on
things
this
going on
podcast,
with
you know,
Supergirl.
you have to embrace
yourself, and I try
and
to teach my kids that it's okay if you can't do everything.
How do you say it in
But
English?
in the meantime, in Dutch there's a saying
mom
that
wants to do
the
everything.
bomb explodes
Like I used to be able to.
Shit hits the fan.
And then
came
when
out, we're still trying to get the right
beginning of the
care
year,
and
there's
extra
a lot of
help
things going on
for
with
Supergirl. And
how do
that
you call
just
it? How do you say it in English?
wore me down. And in
But
Dutch there's a
the
saying that
truth is,
the
there's
bomb
always something
explodes
going on,
because
Wonder
shit
Boy
hits
is
the fan.
now
19
everything
years
came
old,
out,
Supergirl is 17 years old. We're still trying to get
so I've
the
been
right care and extra help.
playing this game for a
Supergirl.
long time.
And there's always something going on.
That just
And, wore me down.
I felt so guilty.
And the truth is, there's always something going
you
on.
girls,
Because
I had people
Wonder
reaching
Boy
out
is
saying,
now
okay,
19
and,
years old, Supergirl is 17 years old. Is there something
so
going
I've
on?
been-
But I was just playing this game for a long time. And there's
this is
always
surviving,
something going on,
I think.
And
I felt so guilty.
and I made sure I
towards,
did things that
you
made
girls,
me happy,
because I had
or
people
things that
reaching
helped
out
me
saying,
relax and
okay,
recharge.
and,
But that weren't the big things. It was
is there
just,
something
making
going
sure I
on?
nap,
But I was
making
just-
sure I go to a quilting class because I love quilting. I live in Kansas. It's mandatory.
This is
Otherwise, you
surviving,
can't even
I think.
live in Kansas. No, but it
And I
really
made
relaxes
sure
me.
I
And I
did things
remember in
that
January
made
or
me
February saying to a friend,
or
I think
things
that
that
help me relax and
quit
recharge.
quilting
But that
class,
weren't
and
the
I
big
go to
things.
quilting class.
Once
Just,
every other week.
making sure I nap,
If there's not a
making
health
sure I
care
go to
appointment
quilting
going on
class
for
because
my kids love quilting. I
And
live
she
in
said,
Kansas.
"That's the
It's
last
mandatory.
thing you
Otherwise,
should
you can't even
Because-
live in Kansas.
Seriously, it's 2
No,
hours
but
in a
it
week.
really relaxes me.
2
And
hours
I
every other
remember
week.
in January or February saying to a friend, I
and I
think I'm
said,
going
yeah,
to
but
quit
I have
quilting class, and I go to a
physical
quilting
therapy
class
twice
once
a week,
every other week.
and
If there's not a healthcare appointment going
picked
on
up
running
for
for my kids, again,
and she said, that's the last thing
I'll
you
just
should
training once a week.
because
She was like,
it's
do
2
you
hours
hear
a week.
yourself?
2 hours every other week.
Your body, I still get
I
physical
said,
therapy
yeah, but
twice
you
a
know,
week because
I
of
have,
long COVID. I have a lot of
physical
muscle
therapy
tension.
twice a week,
And it's getting a
and,
lot
you
better,
know,
but
I picked up
running, it's really nice. And again,
really helpful.
and
Well, just
training once a
I
week.
felt guilty, going for
She
a
was
run.
like,
Then.
do you
so that's
hear
already
yourself?
3 mornings.
3
whole mornings, but
your body, I still get physical
the rest,
therapy
I was
twice
just
a week
in survival
because of
mode.
long
And,
COVID. I have a lot of muscle tension, and
is
it's
a
getting
really
a
long
lot
intro.
better.
But that's, I think,
It's really nice and it's really
the,
helpful.
the topic of this
And,
podcast.
I felt guilty, going
We
for a run
have
then.
things,
So that's
you
already
know,
3 mornings.
going
Well,
on.
not 3 whole mornings, but
almost every time, all the time.
And for the rest, I was just in survival.
Even my kids with juvenile arthritis and uveitis,
really long intro, which is an autoimmune disease on the eyes.
Autism, ADHD, the topic of
everything,
this podcast. Dealing with that, with things,
having a chronic disease, or dealing with
almost
ADHD and autism
all the time.
Hello,
anxiety and depression. My kids with juvenile arthritis and uveitis. It's a lot of
which
guiding
is
your kids,
on the eyes. Kids,
autism, ADHD,
staying sane yourself.
Everything, dealing with that,
and with
little things,
having a chronic disease, or
but also
dealing with ADHD and autism.
Hello,
too
anxiety
much
and depression,
which cost you energy.
It's a lot of guiding your
kids.
I really want
to
staying sane yourself
and explain why
you don't have
to do little things,
or better,
should also
not
say
no
to things that
say sorry are too much
when you
which
are
cost you
energy.
So
off the grid for a while.
In this
when
podcast,
I really wanted to
cancel
give
a lunch date or
and explain
an
why
with a friend. You
maybe
don't have to because you were just
or better,
other really long hospital day
or
say sorry. You're just
when you are
so tired.
Off the grid for a while.
I noticed
when you
myself that cancel
I say sorry
a lunch date or an evening date with a friend.
Apologize for
maybe for the second time because you were just
not going
to my really long hospital day
because I have to go to the bloody hospital.
I say sorry
so
tired.
My parents
noticed
that I don't
phone
myself
off
more often.
I say sorry all the time.
They are retired. Well,
I
apologize
for
I'm a special needs mom,
not
doing
going,
a lot of things. So I have a lot of
quilting
balls,
class because I have to go to
a lot
the
of
bloody
balls.
hospital.
I say sorry
I say sorry to
my husband.
The house is not
phone off
or
more often.
Not even,
to my husband, but also when people visit.
Officially retired.
My first thing I say is, I'm a special needs mom, doing a lot of things. So I have a lot of balls.
Even to my husband,
juggling a lot of balls.
2000.
I say sorry to, and if you haven't listened to this podcast before,
my husband is that the house is not
military. So I'm a military spouse.
To my husband, but also
and it wasn't until
my
COVID.
First thing I say is
that
he normally
excuse
wasn't
the
home
mess
during the week.
Even to my husband,
So that's
2023.
messed up my independence.
And if you haven't listened to this podcast before,
my husband is
different topic.
Officer,
I'm getting into a rabbit hole here about
military.
So I'm a military
I
spouse.
would say sorry all the time.
And it wasn't until
it's a mess.
COVID, when I was in a hospital for a whole day,
normally wasn't
or I
home
was
during
trying
the
to do
week.
some work for a client, or
So
driving to therapy, or
messed up my independence.
driving my daughter to college, which is 40 minutes one way, because different topic. I'm getting into a rabbit hole here, but at the moment
I would say sorry all the
she is
time.
not able,
sorry, it's a mess.
to go
when I
to was in a hospital for a whole
herself
day,
on
or
the
I
longer
was
days.
trying to do
And
some
even
work for a
sometimes when she has
client,
short
or
days, she just
driving to therapy,
and,
or
take a bus,
driving my
or a
daughter to college,
and
which
take
is
her
about
an
40
hour.
minutes one way, because
and I will even
with her
drop
chronic
at
fatigue
the bus
at
or
the
train
moment,
station.
she is not able to go to college.
But if you're
herself
really
on the
tired or
longer
in a lot of
days,
pain,
and even sometimes when she has a
that
short day, she
costs
just
too much
doesn't have energy,
and then
she can take a bus
I decided
or a train
long ago,
and it will
that
take
her
about
they
an
have to
hour
learn
to deal with stuff
and then I will
themselves.
even
But
drop her off. I don't mind doing
at the
this.
bus or train station, if I can help her, have the energy to focus.
But if you're
at school
really
for 2
tired
classes,
or in a lot
because
of
I
pain,
drive her or
that
pick her up,
costs too much
energy, and then
I will happily do
I
this.
decided, and in the car
long ago,
it's a great
that
excuse
yes,
to,
they have to
learn to
listen
deal
to
with
an
stuff
audio
themselves.
book,
But
or
my favorite
I don't mind
podcast,
doing this.
if I can help her,
But I
have the energy to focus.
Sorry to my kids when we
at school
have
for 2 classes,
bread for
because
dinner
I drive her or pick her up.
we came home late. I will have to
exhausted, and
in the car,
with long COVID,
it's a great excuse to
since July
listen to an audiobook. Or
I've been my favorite
podcast
until December. I was knackered for half a year. I had no idea what
sorry a lot.
And I've been
sorry to my kids when we had
to a lot of things.
bread for dinner, because
level of tiredness was a whole different ballgame.
We came home late. I'm just exhausted.
But I
still felt guilty.
I remember 4 years ago I had a major car accident.
I've been
knackered.
And that week,
until December, I was knackered.
In the morning, I got up
to
cycle my daughter to school because I felt guilty.
She had to do it by herself. Used to a lot of things.
But I felt guilty for sitting on the couch in the living room and people would walk by.
But I still felt guilty.
I remember 4 years ago,
I had a major car accident.
Ridiculous. But you, in your mind, that week, you're assuming
in the morning I got up
to cycle my daughter to school because I felt
you make
guilty.
It so hard for yourself, and I don't think that's
I felt guilty for sitting on the couch in the living room and people would walk by.
But I think it's also a mom
sitting there and
the mom
guilt,
and
she has an easy life.
It's ridiculous.
But
you were in your mind, being a good girl, being responsible. I'm the oldest.
These things
of my siblings.
You make it so hard for yourself,
and I don't think that's.
Well, you're the oldest.
I know that
the wisest.
People with ADHD have that tendency, but I think it's also
a mom
behave
thing.
And
the
help
mom
and how we were raised. Being a good girl, being responsible.
Well,
I'm the oldest. The fun thing of my siblings.
It's so interesting.
So
when we hear a friend
always got
talk,
the comment.
Totally understand.
Well, you're the oldest. You should be
totally
the wisest.
We even say,
I know you have a lot of going on.
And
behave.
Do you
and
still
help?
And
Go to the cinema, or shall I just bring over some dinner for you, so you don't have to do that? The fun thing. So
it's find it perfect
when we hear a friend talk. People
totally
do it, or are too tired, or
understand. We even say
cancel. But for ourselves, we feel guilty, and we say sorry
still
all the time.
We
say sorry that
go to the cinema, or
keeping up appearances. Shall I just bring over some dinner for you, so you don't have to do that? So we find it perfect. I want to say sorry because this has been another month before I uploaded a new podcast, but cancel. But for ourselves, we feel guilty, and we say sorry all the time.
Talking about
we say sorry that for not keeping up appearances.
I don't know.
We say sorry.
Depression is not the right word, but
not a depression-related subject.
Struggling.
I want to say sorry because this has been another month before I uploaded a new podcast.
Talked about I almost
balancing and taking time for
about
yourself, and it's perfectly understandable that you have a depression.
Not depression is
blah
not
blah
the right
blah.
word,
Mental health issues.
Depression-related
subject. Struggling about as a special needs mom and what you need to do. And I'm like,
well,
how many podcasts did I already talked about?
Probably understand
balancing and
because
taking time for yourself and. It's perfectly understandable that you have a depression.
Just one thing.
And
blah, blah, blah,
mental health, you get the diagnosis or you get the medication. And from that moment on, upwards. Upwards and upwards. Totally not at all. All people, there are all still things, because our kids grow up and they face new challenges, whether it's their disease, but also, in life.
Just one thing.
And, you go to the hospital, you get a diagnosis or you get the medication. And from that moment on, upwards.
Full time.
Onwards and upwards. Totally not at all.
Those are things that are
still things,
our
youngest grow up and facing face new challenges, whether it's they're struggling with at the moment. But also, in life, it's different when you're able to go to a regular school, in middle school, high school,
have a regular
college,
job,
and even when you have a great group of friends, and those are things that are, are totally normal that you have facing stadia and, struggling with at the moment. She already had that struggle.
I noticed
before,
that people that
it's different
are not
when
in
this situation. In elementary school,
sometimes
in middle school,
almost
high school,
them,
college,
family and friends.
And even when you have a great group of friends, you're still struggling with this. It's totally normal that
why don't you do A, B, C,
and it's not. I noticed that people that
I find that
are not in this situation in times like these. Sometimes you can almost hear them, even
you
family
also
and
see
friends.
who are your true friends and who
You're
are
still struggling with this.
people you can rely on or are not
Why don't you do
judgmental,
A,
and
B, C,
the persons that
and it's not
suck the living daylight out of you because they just are
I find
energy
that
takers.
in times like these.
Isn't there a really fun word for it?
Vampire?
You also see who are
Energy
your
vampire,
true
something like
friends
that.
and
I
who
really
aren't.
like that word.
People you can rely
that
on
word.
are not judgmental, and the
So-
persons that suck the living daylight out of you because they just are
I really
energy
want to say I'm
takers.
sorry that I haven't uploaded more. On the other hand,
Isn't there a really fun word
you
for
don't
it?
have to say
Vampire,
sorry. That you sometimes
energy
disappear for a
vampire,
while.
something like that.
I
Don't want to
really
hang
like
out.
that word. Or the term.
Are not working on your life dream.
So-
Are just
trying to make it through the
So-
day. I
and
really want to say I'm sorry that I haven't uploaded
So
more.
hereby
On the other
you-
hand,
if you need permission,
you don't have to
you
say
have
sorry.
permission
That
to
you
not say
sometimes
sometimes disappear for a while. Don't want to hang out.
I showed up.
I almost
you know,
canceled because I was like,
I'm
oh,
not
it's already
working on
Monday
your
late
life
afternoon
dream,
when I
or
record
this,
this, and you see, I need more time
trying to make
and
it through the day.
I better not. And
What helped me?
So hereby, if you need permission, do it anyway.
You have
And
permission
to not say
few
sorry.
things.
Now, I showed up. I almost canceled because
One
I was
thing
like, oh, it's
that
already
always helps
Monday
me
late afternoon when
is
I
Mel
record
Robbins.
this, and you see,
don't know if
I
you
need
know her.
more time
She
and
written,
I better not.
What
think 2 books
helped me?
the
High five habit and
do it anyway.
and our
5-second rule.
a few
I think.
things. I love that book. Can't even come up with the title at the moment. One thing
And she has a
that
podcast,
always helps
the
me
Mel Robbins
is Mel
podcast.
Robbins.
And I
don't know if you know her.
It's like hearing
she
myself
written,
sometimes. I'm like,
I
oh
think
gosh,
2
I'm
books.
not the only one. I believe there was
The
one episode
High
and
Five Habit
I
and
saw the title saying it was
5-second
about
rule,
anxiety,
I
and I'm like, well,
I love
don't
that
have
book.
anxiety.
Can't even come up with the title at the moment.
The-
But then I listen to all my other favorite podcasts. So I was
And
like,
she has a
oh,
podcast,
okay, I will just
the
listen
Mel
to
Robbins
this one.
and
podcast. She talked
And I
about
love
anxiety, and I was
It's
like,
like hearing myself
crap.
sometimes. I'm like,
this is so me.
gosh, I'm not the only one. I
Anyway,
believe there was one episode and
I was
saw
at the title saying
it was about
physical
anxiety.
therapist.
I'm like, well, I
This
don't have
morning.
anxiety.
and I was driving.
And
But then I listened
had
to
her
all my
book
other
on,
favorite podcasts, so I was like, oh, okay, I will
High
just listen
Five
to
Habit.
this one. And she
I
talked
think
about
it's called
anxiety,
that.
and I
No,
was
I
like,
really do.
oh crap.
Make sure it's called like
This
this.
is so
yeah,
me.
the High Five Habit.
Anyway, and
She
I
had a
was
few
at
examples and also saying,
physical
sometimes
therapist
you just have to do
this
it.
morning, and I was driving. You can't wait for
I
the
had her book on.
perfect moments and
High Five Habit.
so your excuse is that you can only
think
write
it's
if you have a
called that.
several
No, I
hours,
really do.
or if you're
Make
in a
sure
log
it's called
cabin
like this.
somewhere in
Yeah,
the
the
middle
High
of nowhere.
Five
Well,
Habit.
that's what I always
And
think. So that's why I
she had a
don't
few
write
examples.
because
I'm
I'm
like,
also saying,
yeah, I can only really write,
sometimes you
really
just have to
write
do it.
my book when I
You
hire a
can't wait
cabin
for the
somewhere
perfect
in
moments
nature and
for a week.
Just
So
me
your excuse
and
is
my
that you can
laptop,
only write if you have
and
several
just
hours.
write.
Or if
That's
you're in a
bullshit.
log cabin somewhere
But
in the
I
middle of
convinced
nowhere.
myself
Well,
I
that's
can't really write
what I always
because
think.
if
So
I
that's
only
why
have
I
half an
don't
hour
write because
or
I'm
50
like, minutes.
Yeah, I can only really write,
Again, that's
really
bullshit.
write my
So,
book when I hire a cabin
I was listening
somewhere
to her and,
in nature
I
for
came
a week.
home.
Just me
Life happened,
and
you
my
know,
laptop,
dog, kids,
and just
being
write.
a taxi driver.
That's bullshit.
And I was like, oh,
But
yeah.
I convinced
I
myself I can't
And I'm like,
really
nope.
write because if I only have half an hour or 50
I'm
minutes.
sabotaging myself at the moment. If this is
Again,
so
that's
important. So, and then I realized,
you know,
I was
maybe this
listening
is a
to
really
her
good podcast
and,
episode.
I
You
came
know,
home that you
life
happened, dog, kids,
you
being a
shouldn't
taxi
feel guilty
driver
that you
haven't done
And I was
the
like,
thing.
oh yeah,
I can't. And I'm like, nope. And I thought this is actually a really good podcast episode.
sabotaging
I
myself
felt
at the
guilty.
moment.
If
And
this
I
is
wanted
so
to say
important,
sorry, and then I went like,
because
and then
like a
I
month ago,
realized,
I was
you know,
already
maybe
like,
this is a really good
I
podcast
think I should
episode.
do a
You know,
podcast about
that you
shouldn't say sorry if you
shouldn't
do
feel
this
guilty
or
that you
cancel
haven't
things.
done the thing.
or if you're still
and
struggling mentally.
I thought this
You
is
know,
actually
and
a
you
really
have been
good
dealing with
podcast
depression
episode that,
for
you know, I felt guilty
year
and
or
I wanted
longer.
to say sorry, and then I went like, because
Or
like a
you're
month
back in
ago, I
therapy
was already
again.
like, you don't have to
I
feel
think
sorry.
I should
You don't have to
do a
feel sorry
podcast
for
about
big
that
things
you
like
shouldn't
that.
say
You don't have
sorry
to feel sorry
if you
when your house
don't
looks
do
like
this
a
or
tornado
cancel
just came
things.
through. Because we have
you're still struggling on our plates, you know, and
so
you have
she
been
helped
dealing
me,
with depression
you know,
for
I always have to smile
a year or
when
longer.
she talks, but I also feel
or
understood.
you're back in therapy again, so that helps me. You know, you don't have to feel sorry for
record,
you know, things like that. You don't
push
have
that
to feel
record
sorry.
button.
When your house
What
looks
also
like
helped
a
a few
tornado
weeks
just
ago,
came through. I have in the Netherlands we have we're a
Because
kingdom,
we have a
so
lot
we have a
on
king.
our plates.
And once
So
a year,
she helped me, you know, I
there
always
is,
have to smile
in the army
when she talks, but I also feel
so
understood.
you wear, so that helps.
Beautiful
me, you know,
long dress and everything,
you know,
and push that record button.
This was a
What
few
also
weeks ago.
helped a few weeks
And
ago.
I have in the Netherlands we have we're a kingdom.
New makeup.
So we
And
have a king.
not cheap
And once a year,
makeup at Target.
there is in the
But
army a
Christian
king's
Dior,
ball. So
kind
you
of
wear
makeup. Beautiful long dress and everything.
and I almost felt guilty, but
and
you have to realize this was a few
I
weeks ago.
shouldn't
say, you know,
And
I
I went
shouldn't have to
and
explain myself,
bought
but
new makeup.
and
I
not,
don't
not,
wear
not
makeup
cheap makeup at Target
that often or buy really
expensive brands, but
Christian Dior, kind of makeup. I had this lipstick
and I almost felt guilty, but you have to realize
eyeshadow.
no, I shouldn't say, you know, I shouldn't have to explain myself, but
actually it was like I don't wear makeup
20 years old,
because
that often or
I
buy
have
really
a nice gala
expensive brands,
once a year.
but
And I had this really nice gold. I had this lipstick
shimmery
and
lipstick.
I think
For my
eyeshadow
20 years ago.
But you know, I used it once a year.
Actually,
Like
it was like
once, twice a year.
20 years old.
Because
So I have a
it
nice
still
gala
looked
once a
okay,
year.
and so I just
And I
kept
had this
using
really
that one
nice
and the same
gold
gold with some other makeup.
Yeah,
And then I listened to a declutter podcast like
for my wedding
last year or something
20
when I was
years
dealing
ago.
with long
But
COVID.
you know, I
and it
used
was
it
about
once a
so
year.
I cleared out
Like
a lot of makeup.
once,
I'm like,
twice a year.
you know,
So
I should clear this out.
So,
it still
here
looked
was this
okay,
ball,
and
I was,
so I just
you know,
kept
had this
using
red
that one,
dress,
and the same went with,
and I
with
wanted
some
this
other makeup.
gold shiny
And then I listened
lipstick
to a
and
declutter
because my nails are
podcast
really
like
short at the moment.
last year or
I
something
put on
when
a
I was
fancy
dealing
color, I
with
just
long
wanted
COVID.
nice.
And it was about makeup, so I cleared out
Yeah.
a lot of makeup. I'm like,
A nice
you
nail
know,
polish.
so I went to
I
this
should clear this out.
more
So
fancy makeup
here was this
store.
ball, and I was
and
I had this red dress.
I
And I
bought
wanted
this
this
and
gold
you know, if you're
shiny
watching
lipstick
this,
and if
because my
yeah,
nails
if you're
are
on
really
the
short at the
listening to the
moment.
podcast, you can't see it, but
you know, I bought
put
this
on a fancy
show
color
on
on
the
the
camera.
camera.
Nice. I bought this really nice Dior
A nice
see-through
nail polish.
So I went to this
More
fancy makeup
nail
store.
polish. And it's
And
like the guy said that was selling it to me. He said,
I
yeah,
bought
it's
this
like you have
and
this,
you know, if you're
almost
watching
like
this,
this French
if you-
manicure.
if you're
kind
on
of
listening to the podcast,
it
you
made
can't
me
see it,
feel
but, you know, I
like
bought
$1
this,
million bucks.
showing it on
So
the camera.
yeah, it was
I bought
because
this really
Christian
nice
Dior, so it was not
Dior
cheap, but
and it's the same with I bought a lipstick and not
nail
not-
polish.
just
And it's like the guy
lipstick
said
that I was selling
I
it to
thought,
me.
you
He said,
know,
yeah,
I'm
it's
there
like
now.
you have this
almost
a
like
lipstick
this French
manicure kind of.
It
Not
made
only
me
for
feel
the ball,
like $1
because
million
I wanted
bucks. So yeah, it
golden
was
shimmery
lipstick
lipstick
again, but of
because it's
course my
Christian Dior, so it was
20-year-old
not
Dior
cheap,
lipstick.
but and it's the same with I bought
They
a
didn't have
lipstick
that anymore, so I bought something
and
else.
not
And I thought, you know,
just lipstick for
I just
I thought,
had
you
a
know, I'm
moment
there
of,
now.
like, I'm treating
A lipstick,
myself to some nice things, and I bought this
really nice.
not only
Can't
for
even
for
say
the
the
ball,
brand.
because I wanted this
Guerlain, I think.
golden shimmer
Really
lipstick
nice.
again, but of course my 20-year-old
Lipstick.
Dior lipstick was not,
And
they
it's
didn't
not
have that
bright
anymore,
pink,
so I
but
bought
it
something
has
else.
And I thought, you know, nice thingy on my
I
lips, just for
had a
daily
moment
use. So
of,
it's just
like, I'm treating
shiny,
myself to some
little
nice
bit of
things, and I
pink,
bought this
little
really
bit of-
nice. I can't even
and
say
why
the brand.
why am
Guerlain,
I, you know,
I think. Going on
really
and on about
nice
fancy makeup
lipstick. So
and
I
it's not
only do
bright
this
pink,
once in a while,
but
even if
I
I did it every bloody month.
I don't have to say sorry for this, of course,
nice
but
thingy
on my lips, just for daily
That's-
use. So it's just
you know, going to the
shiny,
ball.
little bit of pink, little
It
bit of
made me feel
and
so
why nice, because
why
I've
am
been
I,
living
you know,
in yoga pants
going on and on
since I
about
got my diagnosis
fancy
of
of
makeup.
long COVID.
Really, I was tired
So
anyway,
I
so
only
there
do
was
this
no
once in a
use.
while. Even if
Why
I
would
did it every
even
bloody
dress up?
month.
I don't have to say
tired
sorry
and
for
shit
this,
all the
of
time.
course,
But
I was.
that
going to I was at that moment also going to trauma therapy.
So nice.
Things going on with my kids.
Yoga pants.
Seriously,
since I got my yoga pants was way a huge accomplishment.
Really,
and then I was tired anyway, so there was no use. Why would I even dress up? I felt tired and shit all the time. And I had this not over the top, just shiny makeup. Going to I was at that moment also going to trauma therapy. That things going on with my kids.
If I just put on
seriously, me putting on yoga pants was way a huge accomplishment. And then we had this fancy
put on some mascara and
that and it just felt so nice. And
shiny,
I had this
not
so fancy
top,
lipstick.
Makeup.
It made me feel
it felt so good.
So good. And
something clicked.
Yeah, made me feel like $1 million. I'm like,
if I just put on some mascara,
it actually helps
only when
that,
I record a
putting
podcast.
It on before I went out,
but just put on some mascara.
It's
and
a bare minimum of makeup.
That's a little bit shiny,
but also
fancy lipstick.
It lifted my spirit up. Just because I put on this tiny bit of effort,
made me feel like $1 million.
And because of that, I also,
it actually helps that,
okay, days that I've got physical therapy, I still wear yoga pants all the day, but only it's a bare minimum of makeup.
It made me feel so good about myself.
But so
it kind
of lifted my spirit up. Just because I put on this tiny bit of effort, and because of that, I also, sometimes, days that I've got physical therapy, I still wear yoga pants all the day. But I had a friend, and she's also a specialist.
It made me feel so good about myself.
I started to put on
most of my friends are specialist moms.
Because of that,
I get it.
It really, and not that like I have made me feel a bunch of friends, and then I don't need a lot of friends.
Sometimes
that's
something you learned
later on that I don't have to feel sorry for not having a lot of friends because
and she's also a specialist mom.
So much energy. I think
so I have a few friends, and most of my friends are specialists.
So and
because they get it.
A few of them I see, and not that like I have bunch of friends. I don't need a lot of friends.
I had a friend, and we spoke a lot
later on that I don't have to feel sorry
a few years
for not having a lot of friends because
once every other
so much energy. We try to make meet for lunch.
So I have a few friends, and most of them are also specialist moms.
I totally lost my train of thought.
A few of them
I
see twice
a
year.
So we were
didn't
cancel.
I had a friend, and we spoke a lot.
And I thought,
a few years ago, and now it's
once every other month. We try to make meet for lunch. And I totally lost my train of thought.
Got out of my yoga pants and put on a nice blouse,
things like that. And so we were. It didn't cancel, so things really helped. And
today,
I
keep my butt on and my
Mel Robbins really
pretty
to just
the ball.
do it.
And
high five yourself. Just take the time. How little time you have.
Got out of my yoga pants.
Same.
Put on a
I have a
blouse.
blouse. Things like that. And for years, I had all the fabric, and I didn't start because I thought, I really so things really helped.
At least half a day
to get started.
Today.
And that's bullshit.
To kick my butt.
Once you
Mel Robbins,
I can cut a few pieces of fabric
to just
do it. High five yourself. Just
take
the time.
It takes
how
me
little time. Every time I go to quilting class, I have a quilt. And for years,
where I left off,
I had all the fabric, and I didn't start because I thought, I
if
really
I'm
happy quilting there.
At least
fine.
half a day.
If it takes
get
me
started.
Years, and that's
to make this
new blanket. Once I can cut a few pieces of fabric. That's totally fine.
So Mel Robbins,
who cares that it takes me? Every time I go to quilting class,
my
I just
fancy makeup.
Pick up where I left off.
And that helped me to,
my teacher doesn't care.
2 weeks ago,
if I'm happy quilting there, totally fine. If it takes me years to make this new blanket, there was, things are still going shitty with my kids at some levels.
Yeah, I really love her.
We're still needing to sort out the extra care,
and
that's
still
not to,
and that sucks.
2 weeks ago, where about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, I was still drained in all things are still going shitty with my kids at some levels.
Fancy ball.
We're still needing to sort out the extra care
for nobody because
that's
you don't
still
see anybody
during the day.
And
really
sucks.
I work from home. I've got a dog.
where I see about the lady at the grocery store, but still, it's not that I see a lot of people, but just putting on that lipstick 2 weeks ago because of that fancy ball. Good. And I remember with my nails as well. I remember when I, for nobody, because I don't see anybody during the day, really. I work from home, I've got a dog, and I was able to, maybe I see my toenails lady at the grocery store, but it's not that I see a lot for the first time in like 6 months. Just putting on that lipstick felt great. Made me feel just doing my nails. And I remember with my nails as well. I remember when it's just those little pick-me-uppers that can really help. Wonder Boy was born. The things that really helped, and I was able to see my toenails and paint my toenails. Struggling with daily life for the first time in like 6 months. I took care of myself. I made sure I had my rest, and I did a few doing my nails. Whether it was a lunch with a sometimes it's just those little pick-me-uppers that can really help. And the things that really helped, when I was... What really helped that I knew there was a lot going on. I knew I didn't have to say sorry, and I needed this time. I took care of myself. I unapologetically made sure I had my rest, and I did a few things. Whether it was a lunch with a friend or going I just took the time class because I needed it. I needed it for my kids. What really helped that I knew there was a lot going on. I knew I didn't have to say sorry, and I needed this time, and it helped. So taking some of the tension unapologetically because did I say that where I used to be like, but I have to. I just took the time. I have to get through this because I needed it. I have to have the energy for my kids. I'm not grumpy in the evening because during the day I was in survival mode and didn't take time for myself. Fine. And it helped taking some of the tension off. Yeah, mentally being able to hug myself like, but I have to. This is okay. You don't have to feel sorry that you say no or cancel that. And have to have the energy that. But also what did help me in the evening because although during the day I was in survival mode and didn't take time for myself. I had a lunch here and there. Basically, with mentally a fellow being able to hug myself and say, you're doing fine. This is okay. That was going through the same say no or cancel that thing. And that was also struggling with the kids that already, although I did limited it, is mentally or physically mentally here and struggling there with things with a fellow deal with special needs mom. How that got so painful. That was going through the same vent thing. Or just talk and have a nice lunch. Was also struggling with kids that really did me good. So in the moment when it wasn't going well, physically, what helped was that I didn't say sorry. And how you deal with it as a mom, which was needed. That's so painful to watch. I said no, just the things that I just couldn't handle. Talk and have a nice lunch, which I knew would not give me energy, would cost me energy. That really did me good. So in the moment when it wasn't going well, and then what helped was that I didn't say sorry. Crazy time. I took the time, taking the time, which was needed to do things that. I said no when it was sometimes just for 15 minutes. Couldn't handle, and which I knew would not give me energy. A nice magazine cost me energy. Just to read it really helped. Still, in that crazy time, recharge. Still taking the time for the day, for the afternoon, for the evening, because there was just a lot going on. Sometimes just for 15 minutes. When I was ready. Buying a nice magazine, just to read it. I was listening to Mel Robbins' High really Five Habit book. To now I can take action. Recharge again. And for the day, for the afternoon, for the evening, because there was just a lot going on. And now I have a little bit more when energy I was again. Ready. Not that the situation changed that much with what Mel. I was listening to Mel Robbins' High Five Habit book. Now I can take action again. I just have a little bit more energy now for a moment. And not totally understandable. Now I have a little bit more talking energy myself again. Down. Not that there's always the situation changed. Why didn't you do it with really help one of my kids? Yeah, but this was what it was, and that was totally fine. And I should not be, saying sorry to. I just have a little bit more energy now, and also not, blame myself for not doing things, or I
talking myself down,
could have. Those are the most dangerous words. Why didn't you do it? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. This was what it was, and that was totally fine. And if you're ready, not be, saying sorry to get out anyone of it, even if you're still in the middle of a shitstorm, blame myself for not doing things, or I should have, or do a little thing. Those are the most dangerous words out there. I should, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Will help you, spark that light. And if you're ready, whether it's get listening to it, even if you're still in the middle of a shitstorm, it can help if you do a little thing that or one of Mel Robbins audiobooks pick you up, or will help you find that really nice sparklet light, see-through nail polish, whether it's listening to for me it's listening to just help me it gave me podcasts, it helped me up my game, one of Mel Robbins audiobooks, up not my game, but just me. It's buying that really something nice so see-through nail polish. 40 minutes of talking about mental health stuff you deal with as a special needs mom. Help me or special needs woman, help me up my game. That it's totally fine. Up you my game, but just have should not spark something. Have the feeling that you need to say sorry. That was another 40 minutes of talking about mental health make stuff. You feel like you that deal with they're not your people, mom, or special needs woman yourself. Sometimes that's really hard. No, that it's totally fine. If people should not have don't get you, that can happen. Have the feeling that you need to say sorry, and that's totally okay. People, but if it makes you feel like that, they're not your lot people. Of energy. If you if they say stupid things and are still struggling with that, really hard. But if people don't you have a depression again, or don't get you, that can happen. A burnout, another one, really, and that's totally okay. But if it makes you feel like shit to be around, you don't have to say sorry. A lot of energy. Take the time for you. If take all the time you need. If they say stupid things, to find, you're still struggling with that. Your energy, relax, recharge. Sometimes you don't need to find energy. Sometimes you just need to be a blob on the couch because another one, crap, your day was awful. And that's totally the conversation. You don't have to say sorry. Take the time for you. Take all the time you need. Feel a bit to find your energy, relax, recharge. Sometimes you don't need to find energy. Sometimes you just need to be a blob on the couch because holy crap, your day was awful. And that's totally it's also, struggling with special needs kids in life and everything. If you wanna and do something that will again, make you feel like $1,000,000. Maybe find a motivational speaker or a book, or nice lipstick, a therapist, or just a glass, or a friend that is also, going through the special needs kids in life. Little things that it doesn't have to be a big thing or an expensive thing, but make you feel like $1,000,000. Where there is lift that fire, putting on some nice lipstick, or just a gloss, that whatever it is, something that lights you, lights you up to the spa. So. Little things that it doesn't have to be a big thing or an expensive thing, but a little thing that will soon again lift that fire. You're in my heart. Know that I'm thinking about you and lights up that whatever it is, something that lights you, lights you up. So I hope you have be here soon again, and if you're struggling, I will be able to we are. I just a podcast soon again or checked. I got a warning that this podcast is you're in my heart. 3 years already, so I'm maybe thinking about you. An old episode. I did a bunch of recordings on, mental health, finding your energy.
I hope to.
But also dealing with soon again. And if you're struggling chronic illness, I just special tips around food. I got a warning that this podcast is now here for 3 years already. So maybe browse an old episode if you're really craving a new episode. Bunch of recordings on new to this health, re-listen to finding your energy, but also dealing with a long-time listener. And thank you for that. Chronic illness. And I see you next time. Special tips around food or cleaning. All kinds of episodes. So maybe browse in the history if you're really craving a new episode and you're new to this, or re-listen to an old episode if you're already a long-time listener. And thank you for that. And I see you next time. Bye. This was today's episode of the Special Needs Supermom podcast. Enjoyed your mental glass of wine? If so, please subscribe, rate and review the show, and recommend the podcast to other special needs supermoms you know could use that mental glass of wine as well. Until next time, fellow supermoms. Cheers, Nadine.